Okay, mic is now on. Let me know if you can hear it. Seems like we should be good to go here. Mic check, mic check. Welcome, welcome. Mr. Blue here, TradePhantoms.com. Y'all are already chatting away in here. I think this is live right now, right? Y'all are already in here fairly early. Good morning, Mr. Blue. What's going on? Alfredo, my man. Trendy, man. Money Mike's in the house. YT's Nacho Frank, what's going on? Hopefully you're feeling better. Still working out, brother. Money Mike, let's go. Yes. Good evening from Bangkok, China. All right, let's go. Cool. All right, have to refresh. Hopefully YouTube is working better here today. I know on Tuesday it was a bit annoying. Maybe some issues with audio. I'm not sure. Seems like it was a YouTube issue, so I'm hoping today's better. Timestamp today going to be Thursday, the 16th of April, 2026. I'm your guide, your host, Mr. Blue from Trade Phantoms. I'm going to go through some pre-market prep. Show you a little bit about what it's about here in the live trade room. And then, of course, market's going to be opening at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll take you to the open. And if I see any live setups, I will not hesitate to execute said setup. If I don't see no setup, I will not take a setup. If I see it, I do it. If I don't see it, I don't do it. Anyways, let's kick this off into the good stuff. We'll get to some levels and charting in a moment. But no matter what, I always bring this up no matter where I am. So I got a weekly time frame on the left of SPY. What's going on, Eric A. Chicago? Let's go. Where's Donnie? Loser. Where is Donnie? What is a setup? You were at the doctor's just is that that's Eric A. I think that's Eric A. Yeah, it has to be. It is. Setup is you were at the doctor yesterday. How's that colonoscopy, baby? How you feeling? I know you're standing up today. Hopefully you're well. We got SPY on a daily time frame on the left. I'm sorry, on the right. Weekly time frame on the left. Why do I bring this up? Well, to bring this up, institutional demand and supply is going to be the main backdrop of how markets work in the strategy of Phantoms, of course, Trade Phantoms, top-down multiple time frame analysis approach. I'll get to this pretty quickly. You're going to see three major colors on my charts: orange, yellow, blue. Orange is going to be the monthly time frame association. Anything that you do see in orange is having to do with the monthly time frame. So monthly highs, monthly lows. If you see a VWAP, etc., orange monthly. Yellow is going to be weekly. Last week's high, last week's low. Weekly highs, weekly lows. Weekly VWAP. Yellow followed by daily is going to get a color code of blue. So same thing here, right? Yesterday's high, yesterday's low, and boy, are we high now, all-time highs. As you can see here, highlighting the yesterday's high, yesterday's low in terms of the price is in blue. And at the open, I'll anchor a VWAP, volume weighted average price, for the day, and that will be, of course, a blue color code there. Candlesticks, a bunch of fancy names. Okay, great. Context and location. Context and location is going to be more important here. Bullish candlesticks, preferably when you're looking for these in the context of an uptrend at demand levels. Okay. Bearish candlesticks, same thing, just in reverse. And that we're still going to be looking for this, however, in the context and proper location in terms of supply, location, and then lower low, low high context structure down. Okay. We definitely don't have that in the markets at the moment right now. And I'll kind of skip through down here. And this is the liquidity map, as we kind of call it. Here at Phantoms is going to be, we dissect this a lot more. If you're visiting the channel and you're fairly new, this might look a little confusing, but we discussed this and unpacked this more in the classes. There's going to be two actions, buys and sells, that create demand and supply. However, there's going to be four possibilities, knowing the difference of this: accumulation, distribution. Everything's accumulation and distribution. In that, if you were to buy to enter, or long, bullish, you want the market to go up, that's an accumulation order. At some point now, you'd have to sell to exit. You are a distribution order now, right? So if you bought to enter and the market does indeed go up, well, you'd sell to exit to realize your gain. Distribute. If you did buy to enter and the markets go down and it violates your setup and your thesis or your setup to be in, okay, you'd have to sell to exit to realize your loss, as you should. Distribution. However, you can also sell short to enter, which is going to be entry to be bearish. Selling short, you would want the market to go down. That's an accumulation order. Now you are a market participant as a buyer, willing buyer to cover, to exit. If you did sell short, you want that market to go down, so you'd buy a cover to exit as that's going down, as you should be doing. If you did sell short to enter, but the markets are going up, okay, a lot of sell shorts getting wiped out right now, okay, and believe me, I got some shorts on too that have been just getting wiped out. All right, we'll talk about this. It's not, but we're getting long too as well. Okay, so yes, had a couple of stop losses at levels above as this market's just continuing to just ram to the upside here. Okay, we'll see what today has to offer. All right, but if you've been hanging around even on YouTube over the last week or two, even for free on YouTube, what have you, all right, we've had no hesitation on taking the bullish setups. In fact, all week this week, for the most part, intraday and even some swings that have been carrying over have been a lot of bullish trades, but taking a couple of losses here and there, very small, keeping it managed, okay, as this market's just blowing supply levels asses out, okay? So therefore, if you are selling short or bearish, okay, and that market does not go down, which this market's just not going down at the moment, well, you'd be forced at some point to buy a cover to exit, okay, as that market's just ripping against you to the upside. Okay, a lot of that is happening at the moment right now over the past 2 weeks. Okay, we break that down further, of course, and we break it down into quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 2 connect as an uptrend, 1 and 4 connect as a downtrend. And if you want to learn about how to do that at a higher level, you go to TradePhantoms.com. We get some Phantoms members in here right now that have already been to the classes, so they already kind of know the deal. And it's time to roll up the sleeves and get to work here. Indexes in terms of futures. Let's just start there real quick, get a major layout of the 4 indexes. We get the S&P daily time frame upper left, NASDAQ upper right, Dow Jones lower left, Russell 2000 bottom right. Okay, we actually did some work on the Dow Jones in that we were talking about how we had this range in the beginning of the year. Then we finally broke down, had a little bit of a downtrend, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Came into some massively monthly levels down in here, September lows. We rallied back up, then we based, and this right here, folks, is the flip. Okay, this is the flip right there. And that's so far what we're having right now, where this market flipped. Now, this is the Dow Jones, not at all-time highs. The S&P and the NASDAQ are. Okay, but this right here is a complete change, specifically that ellipse right there. Okay, so we've been kind of talking about this failing to make new lows. Okay, then we're starting to make high lows in terms of an uptrend. And you can see the NASDAQ and the NASDAQ and the S&P. Okay, yesterday literally made a new all-time high. Yes, off the back of even issues and war. Kind of crazy, right? But backside is the theme of the morning. Eric Gay is in pain right now. So there goes the flip. We'll be talking about that. Now we've had what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Surprised I can count that far. I mean, we had 12, green bars, green days up. Yes, of course, I think everybody and their grandmother is expecting some kind of, at some point, pullback. Of course, things just can't go up forever. Okay, but we've just been holding above bullish levels and VWAPs and 20-period moving averages, etc., all throughout this sequence here for the last, I'd say, this week for certain. Okay, and even I would even say last week. Okay, so I can almost say the same thing for the NASDAQ. Okay, this is just a nice clean chart at the moment. Believe me, the next chart you'll see in a moment, there's going to be so much markups that you might even get a little bit confused here. Okay, so again, NASDAQ into the all-time high club. Okay, just always referencing here that the 20-period moving average will give us some kind of a mean reversion. Okay, so that's just, if you put a 20-period moving average on your charts with a 200 as well, this is a daily at the moment. Just be cautious. We have daily lows here, daily lows here, daily lows here. Always just referencing that 20-period moving average as a mean reversion. Okay, so that's just a quick little footnote as we kind of go through. Okay, so at some point, yes, we are going to come back down. Okay, and just do a standard correctional move and probably rebalance, and then see what's next. Okay, so let's dive into a bit more, get down into the weeds more, and I'll start with the S&P futures here, just to take a peek at all that. Kyle, do you mark up supply demand that was formed only at 8 to 11, like above the global zone, or do you just mark up close to supply and demand? No, just doesn't matter about the time really. The only notation I would put on different levels in terms of their validity due to time would be that the overnight levels, right? The overnight Globex highs, the overnight levels that are formed overnight are a little bit less reliable than the levels that are formed during the whole regular trading hours. Okay, there's more volume, more liquidity during the regular trading hours, so therefore those levels are a bit more reliable and more valid than say overnight levels that were created, right, or levels that were created overnight. Okay, but the levels that were created overnight are still valid. Okay, you just have to put those into perspective. Okay, but the levels are going to be better outside during the regular trading hours. In fact, this prop firm that I had right there, one of the trades that I didn't position size accordingly, I took inside of an overnight level, inside of the Globex range, and that level got just wiped out, and it was not even a good level. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I got the S&P futures weekly time frame on the left. Okay, and heck, man, once April 1st came out, basically in the new month, right? This market, we're only what two weeks in, maybe, right? And then we did have that kind of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of April, if you will. So that started out this week right there. Okay, March 30th, even though that's going to be the April 1st on that Wednesday. Since April kind of was formed here, this market for the past 3 weeks, right, just ripping to the upside. So it just literally took out essentially a whole month of March down. Okay, April only 16 days in. Okay, off those September lows, we're coming up now. We made just literally new all-time high. Okay, so kind of crazy where we had that 10% correction. We were actually literally talking about that 10% correctional tag there. Okay, looking at those September lows, planning those bullish trades down there, and then just like this, 3 weeks. Here we go. We got an 11-point rip to the upside, making new all-time highs. Okay. Yes, even during a time of kind of what they would say uncertainty and kind of craziness in the world right now. So markets will be markets. Okay. You have to adapt to this. Took a couple of losses. Okay, on some supply levels up here, as I'm sure many folks have. Okay, and those losses, if you're short, again, you have to force the buy to cover. Okay, so in addition to the flip. Okay, we had this flip that we just kind of talked about, the Dow Jones. Okay, this is all old now, and this is just continuing here. Okay, now getting into more of what's happening here today. So do you mark the zones on your entry time frame? Because the PDF I found about the Globex trap marks the demand and supply zones in the 5. The demand and supply zone that you marked off in the PDF is demand. Yeah, it's not. Just stay the course, Kyle, man. But you're mapping out all time frames. You're drilling down on the small time frames. It might be you might have a level of demand on a small time frame, being the 5-minute time frame. Okay, but I need to know where that is on the bigger picture. So no matter what, it's not. I'm looking at the monthly. I'm looking at the weekly. I'm looking at the daily. I'm looking at the 1 hour. I'm looking at the 30-minute. I'm looking at the 5-minute. I'm looking at the 2-minute. Okay, those are my time frames. So it's not just about am I marking out levels on one certain time frame. Okay, there might be a 5-minute level of demand. But that is, if it's only on the 5-minute level of demand, but that's a very small time frame. But there's a weekly level, a weekly low that is lower, where there's another 5-minute level of demand, but there's a weekly low associated with that weekly low in that 5-minute level of demand. That's going to be more powerful because we have a higher time frame confluence at that level. Okay, so right now, typically this is going to be where we have morning prep and we're going to go into the market trade live. Kyle, we do have classes, okay, on this, and maybe you have taken them, maybe you are a member. All right, but stick to the process here. Watch the recordings, even on YouTube. Even if you're not a member, I go through the process. I'm trying to go through it right now, and I will drop down to small time frames and put some emphasis and some notes on levels in regard to their time frames. Okay, so but I got to keep it pushing. All right, you got to keep it pushing for right now. All right, so we get this daily high. So we got yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Okay, we punched out into a new all-time high. So we had this all-time high, 7,043. We did have this, which happened to be what January's high. We had this February high here as well. So as we rallying up, took out these weekly highs. Okay, and we took out the all-time high yesterday. Okay, yesterday's high, yesterday's low, blew through that level. Now I did keep these kind of all-time highs, this monthly high, and these little weekly tags up here on the chart. I just broke those lines up, okay, and put them on the right, and just kept them there because we could potentially be using, okay, these pullback levels, or if we pull back, these retest levels on the other side. The retest levels on the other side, okay, and that's what you'll see of these lines here, okay. So definitely want to keep an eye on that. So the all-time high is 743, so we could potentially come back and retest there. We also have this February high that's been broken, so I'll be looking at that as well. And then this weekly retest here on the other side, and this is going to be yesterday's low. So even if we do drop down, we would have to come all the way back down to below 7,000, okay, to break what would be prior day's low. So it's a wide range bar yesterday, and we've had that basically all week this week, starting on Monday. massive rally Tuesday, massive rally yesterday being Wednesday, massive rally. Okay, so one of the things you have to be concerned with here today, potentially too, is a bit of a digestion, just parked here at all-time highs. Okay, but if I do drop down to a 60-minute time frame here, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, it's my first time watching Mr. Blue. Yeah, take a seat, buddy. In all respect, take a seat, man. And there's a lot to learn, but just observe for right now, bro. And I think a lot of the questions might get answered too as I go through the process, brother. Okay, but welcome to the channel, man. Welcome to the channel. But if you're new, boo, go to class, man. Get to class, man. Get to class. Get to class. Get to class. All right. Globex high, Globex low. All right. Get trained up. Get Globex high, overnight high here, overnight low, Globex low here. Represented. I'm on a 6-minute time frame S&P futures. Okay. Now below the Globex low, we're gonna look down and left. Okay, to look for what's called an IOF level of demand below the Globex low. Okay, for a trap. Okay, now if I do look down and left, I'm on a 6-minute time frame right now. Okay, here's the current price. If we do break the Globex low, there's the retest level of the all-time high 7,043. But we do have this impulse, a bit of a basing, kind of ugly basing, kind of wide, and a rally here. Okay, so this did leave a level of demand yesterday as we rallied up into the all-time high area. Okay, we had a pushback here a little bit there. Okay, ultimately buyers came back in. Okay, punched this back up and broke the level. Okay, so what was once all-time high as a supply up here is now demand on the other side. Okay, so if we drill down on this, okay, this is going to be used today potentially for a G trap. Okay, so I'll just mark this green for demand here, specifically this impulse, this basing, and this impulse. All right, this comes into roughly the price point of call it 7,032. Okay, and this could be for a G trap bullish. Yeah, US 500s valid still. Yes, you'd be over there in China. So yeah, you could use the CFD, the US 500. All right, G trap bullish. All right, down below here as well, I already have a weekly level kind of mapped out on it. It was a weekly break. Okay, this is 711 here, 7,011. 7,011, that's another weekly high that we kind of broke. Okay, and you can see these weeklies were, providing some pushback, right? And then ultimately push back, and then we broke and snapped. Okay, leaving demand on the other side here now. Okay, so again, we don't need a price point on this 7,011, but this could also be used as a G trap here potentially as well. Now this bottom one would be a bit better. Why? Because it's lower, of course, lower, and we also have a weekly time frame breakdown here. Now this also does have a monthly break over here as well. Okay, but this is just a bit more lower. Okay, so this could also be used as a G trap bullish as well. All right, coming in roughly about 7,011. Okay, another flip zone here, basing, and we had a nice rally out. Okay, for aggressive, if you're a Phantom member and you're trained up a little bit better, and you could use this kind of 7,043 as a retest level on the other side, that would be aggressive. Okay, but this is actually where you have some decent demand structure here. Okay, now this is a 1-hour time frame, but looking at the monthly, weekly, and daily levels associated with that. Now, if I were to say drop down, say for example to a 2-minute time frame, okay, there could be, say for example, this is a 2-minute level of demand right below Globex. If it's not the greatest one, all right, but here's the Globex low. All right, here's current price here. Here's the Globex low. Now this there's not really even a great 2-minute level of demand here, but let's if it's a prime, I should say. But let's just say, for example, that is a nice little pop out right there as a level of demand, right? That's only a 2-minute time frame, right? These levels down here have monthlies and weeklies time frames associated with them. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about in regard to it's not just about one time frame. Okay, and also this is going to be impulse levels of demand on the 60-minute time frame. And I drilled down, we could drill down on the smaller time frame and the demand levels that are going to be associated within the monthlies and the weeklies. Okay, and inside of the 60-minute levels of demand as well. Okay, is going to be a lot better. Okay, so this 2-minute level that's not, is it just in the abyss, just below Globex low, but it's in the abyss of multiple time frame analysis, is going to be less reliable than a level that is developed inside of a higher time frame structure level break. Okay, and also we have a 60-minute time frame level of demand associated in here. Okay, so you want to find the multiple time frame analysis correlations. Okay, in English, right, there's a 2-minute level demand right in here. Okay, but there's nothing on the 60. Okay, whereas there's 2-minute levels of demand in here. But if you notice, there's an impulse basing impulse on a 60-minute time frame okay, that we boxed out here in green, okay, and that is going to, and also in regard to, it's going to be pulling back, retesting the monthly break, okay. So that's what I'm saying to Kyle, right? There could be some smaller time frame level demand here, okay, but we have a 60-minute level demand, and there's also going to be small time frame level demand here. We're fighting in here, so this one's going to be a bit better in that regard, okay. And there's my little free 2 cents there for the tube there. All right, that G-Trap confluence is with the Feb high too. Yep, you got it, Rail Dale Nail, my man, Phantom member. All right, now, typically we would say this, team, we're looking for a global XI. We're looking for supply above global XI. Guess what? There's nothing there. We're in the abyss, okay? So the only thing that we can really look for is, some folks will like pull Fibonacci extensions here, but that's basic. But we can look at more professional tools. We have what's called this market maker options gamma tool here, okay? And that's the only thing that we could look for above our current price. So I will get to that in a moment. It's already 9:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I got to kind of push forward a bit here. But we can also find some confluence with gamma on the SPX to convert that to the ES as well. Switching over the NASDAQ just really quickly. Daily on the right, weekly on the left, all-time high. All right, just massive rally here. Filled this void here very quickly. Okay, still got some levels here that was holding up from some weeklies and some monthlies. March high there, some weeklies. This shelf just got those still on the board as retests to the other side here. Okay, we got a February high, we got the January high, all-time high here. We already broke that. Okay, so we'll see what today offers. There could be some exit distribution here for today. On this, there's the Globex high, that's the Globex low for today. The daily high, the last daily high that we had before the January and all-time high here was this level here. So I kind of broke that line, could use that as a retest. All right, yesterday's lows all the way down here in NASDAQ futures, nuts. Okay, we also do have this February high here. Okay, that could be used as a retest. I'm not sure we're going to get all the way down there today. Okay, but again, just mapping out the levels. Now, if I do drop down into a 60-minute time frame here, all right, mapping out, there's the Globex high, there's the Globex low, the gray space there. All right, overnight session. For aggressive, you can potentially look at a retest of this level right here. This would be aggressive G-trap. This is a retest. Be careful with this one. All right, just a retest of that break of the daily high there in supply. Broke it, and just could be used as a bit of a retesting to the side here. However, true supply-demand equation flip is going to be down here. Okay, kind of an ugly wiki zone there, but it's a zone nonetheless. All right, so this would be a better G-trap in the event that we kind of get down to this area here to call it 26,195. This is NASDAQ futures here. All right, and we also have, which I have noted down here, we have another impulse, basic impulse here. There's the monthly flip from February's high. This is February's high here. Okay, so this 26,027. Okay, whole area here that is also going to be used as some potential bullish trades here as well. Okay, this is just demand flip. All right, so he's going to be a bit better down here. Now, even if I drill down to a 2-minute time frame here real quick, all right, very small time frame. You might want to be careful with the NASDAQ, a bit volatile as well. Right, we just have to be careful, cautious, concern ourselves with today's, we could have a bigger drop just because, exit distribution, we'll see. But yes, I wouldn't even highlight anything in here other than that retest level. I mean, some prime demand on the small time frames. I will just move on right now. So I'll just keep that 60-minute time frame there. All right, the smaller time frames that you go down, you got to be careful here. So you see how we have at least some basic impulse structure level, okay, on a 60-minute time frame intermediate here, relative to nothing here on the 2-minute time frames. All right, moving on here. I'm going to just get straight to it. Let me see, I'll take a peek at gold futures. Pretty quiet on gold, just bullish, kind of not much to say here, just kind of grinding its way. For the record, I'm already long this on a swing trade that I've been holding for quite some time now. It's been kind of grinding its way, so I'm trying to see if we can get up into, 2 days ago we had a nice little positive COG in the daily, got monthly on the left, weekly here in the middle, daily on the right, monthly, weekly, daily. All right, just to show you all as well here, we got a 60-minute time frame here in the upper left, 30-minute bottom left, 5 here, 2-minute time frame here, right? So multiple time frame analysis. So the switching it back over into the daily, just on the right, monthly, weekly, still looking good. Back above the 20 here, just kind of basing, kind of grounding its way. Leaning against this bar on what was it, Monday? Or no, this was Tuesday, right? 414, give or take, whatever it was, right? This is Monday, Tuesday. So we're still kind of leaning against this Tuesday bar, right? Yesterday was kind of a slow day in gold, just kind of pushed back. Okay, it's just kind of basing right now, right? So we can have a base potential break. We'll see. We're talking about watch out for this basing in the event that we do kind of swipe down. We still have these levels of demand down here on the smaller time frames to get some daily lows. But there's really not much to say about this other than it's just kind of been grinding its way to the upside. I'm seeing if we could try to get up into my next target area. It's going to be 5,000 on gold. We do have this drop, this basing in this drop. A couple of weekly highs there and there. There's the March high all the way up there at 54. All right, but let's see if we can just continue kind of its grind up into this 5,000 area where I'm looking to have another. Actually, I already have some profit takes pending up there. Yesterday's Globex high, yesterday's Globex low was there, and gold did nothing yesterday for the most part. And even today's Globex high, Globex low is even tighter here today, team. Okay, so gold's just kind of chilling, doing its thing. But in the event that we do break kind of the Globex low, we were talking about how we have not the greatest levels of demand below, but below this daily low, there's another daily low here, right? This is yesterday's low, so you could potentially use this as an aggressive G trap here, and yesterday's low swipe. All right, so this could be kind of a G trap for today, sub 4,800, so call it 47.95. Emphasizing this level down here too, 4761. I'm on a 60-minute time frame. I'll check that for you. I think that's Mark Wahlberg. Above the Globex high. Now this basing could easily pop, so I'm not really looking to sell. If you are looking to sell short or be bearish, you kind of want to wait for this to kind of rally up, at least up into that weekly high point and that base drop supply level, at least at a minimum here, which I highlighted on the daily up here. All right, so that comes in at about call it the 5,000 handle, 5,050. Okay, I'd watch out for a liquidity sweep above this weekly high. Okay, that would be a nice little target there for longs, bullish trades as well if we get that pop. Okay, so watch out just for a swipe below Globex low, yesterday's low. We can have a potential G trap for 795, and also I can make a price point here. Note on this this level here, 4760. All right, that was a level that developed kind of overnight, so we want to be a little bit careful with that. But a little bit of a better rally out of there. All right, again, up here, this is where you would take some profit from longs and potentially take a bearish trade, at least at a minimum for a counter trend reversal, just for a little, even a little scalp. I'd want to wait a sub above 5,000 up into that level there. Real quick, oil, just get through that real quick. Very news sensitive, just been kind of calming down. Just know that we have demand lower down here. Couple of weekly lows. I know it's kind of disorganized on this, but watch out for those weekly low swipes. Okay, we still have the 20, the 200 kind of down here as well. Watch out for the weekly lows, weekly low swipes, and the daily lows. Okay, I would almost like to put place some limit orders. Okay, down below these swipes in the event that we flush. Okay, I'm not sure if they'll do it, but this 76.60 is getting a little bit interesting there, as we could potentially flush below this weekly low there into the next weekly low. Okay, and we get that 200 period moving average right there as well in the daily time frame. That could be used as a nice little price point there. That would also be outside of 2 standard deviations tag if we get down there pretty quickly. Okay, for shorting this, if we rally up, we got supply here, this daily high, this 105 price point there would be pretty interesting. I've noticed, I'm not sure if this, I'm not much of a technical analysis. I can literally see I've been doing this for a long time, humbly speaking. I can literally see every fucking formation just by looking at the chart. Okay, I'm sure there's a bunch of people looking at this as the head and shoulder here, trend reversal. If things kind of calm down, oil can kind of calm back down here. But we'll see. Right, it's just failure to make new high, and then we are making a quick little new low. But I'm expecting a bit more of a range there overall, as we're still kind of dissecting what the heck is kind of going on in this world. Right, so just be careful with that. My man Mark Wahlberg. Mr. Blue, can you check 26,575? 26. Right. Unfilled gap, so you're probably using the this adjusted. So if you're using this unadjusted, 26,575. I don't really see an unfilled gap. I guess I see a little something there. Yeah, there's a little unfilled gap there. Mark Wahlberg, a snipe. Yeah, it don't matter what time frame. It don't matter what time frame. It's just a gap. I see it right here, even on the 60. I see what you're seeing. That's a price point there. Yep, using the adjusted. Yep. I see it there. Make a note on that, team. Mark Wahlberg is the man. All right, 26,575. All right, so you can even take that to the unadjusted chart. All right, good job, Mark Wahlberg. He's the man. Wahlberger here. All right. So on the unadjusted, there's an unfilled gap here. Let's go. I'm sorry, adjusted. Whatever, can't spell. We got to move on. 6 minutes before open. Fuck. Let me get to also market maker gamma exposure, which is also going to help here. My man, Mark Wahlberg. My man has been a Phantom member for 3 years and turned into an absolute monster trader. There's a tear going down my eye right now. Beast. He put the work in. And it's coming out, showing. All right. Slight gap up. Another gap up. We'll see. How high can it go? Who knows? We're in the abyss. 0.14% up. Nothing crazy right now. Take that to the SPX implied open. Give or take 0.14. Let's just say we're opening up, roughly speaking, SPX 7,030. What am I going to do with that information? All right, I'm going to zoom in here. 7,030. This is a don't even have time to explain this. I'm going to be opening up roughly 7,030. Positive, negative, gamma. Man, we are more in a positive gamma note here today, team. Really, nothing is a footnote here, other than it looks like we have this spread here. It looks like we have a spread here too. $7,030. We're going to be opening up. All right, we do have, even though this is all positive gamma, we do have a bit of above. If we can get above 7, if we can stay above 735 here, there's a little bit of more. Even though this is all a blue shade here at 730, there is a little pocket of negative gamma here above up until 775. So I'm going to put a price point at 770 on the SPX above. Positive gamma above here, all right, which will be used as supply. This might be roughly speaking to the Mark Wahlberg unfilled gap burger. All right, that'll be interesting. How far away is that on NASDAQ? From current price now is 0.6% up. 0.6 roughly percent up, Wallenberger. So we got this positive gamma node here, 7070 SPX, and this could also be, roughly speaking, around that NASDAQ hit level with Mark Wahlberg. All right, interesting there. Below price, we just have a ton of. I'm just going to put a pin on these massive levels here. Adding to this. 7010. I'll put 7010 here. We're going to be opening up roughly about 7035. So I'll put 7010, 7010 below. And of course, naturally so, the even number might also provide some kind of support. This is the retest level, right? We were just talking about this, right? Above the all-time high. We're trading above that now. We could potentially retest down here. There is a small little gamma node here at 7010. But which could provide some demand. It's a little messy down here, I will say, this morning on the gamma. All right, but just emphasizing the SPX, 702, which is a January all-time high, and February high here. These levels here would be a bit better just in terms of demand and supply. ES70, thank you, Joe Frank, my man. Hopefully you're feeling better. I know you're working out, even still sick. I saw the comment that you made yesterday. That was funny. Wife says you're sick, you should rest. No, I'm still working out. Let's go. Hopefully you're feeling better. So what Joe Frank is doing here for us, he's the man, professional trader, man. Doing it a long time as well. He's the man. 7070. This is the SPX 7070. Mark Wahlberg took care of us for the NQ unfilled gap there. And what Joe Frank is mentioning here, because he's trained, he's another beast in the flesh and on the charts and in trading. He's letting us know that the 7108 is going to be the equivalent level for the SPX gamma that we just sifted out above price. In English, this could be a nice hit point here for, if long, we can TP from longs. And then this could today, if you kind of want to take another shot here, this could at least be where we can potentially tag for a bearish trade as we kind of get it more extended up here. All right, this is recorded, so there's the bell. Don't even have enough time to go through everything here. Switch this to a 2. Switch this to the daily. Be patient. Let's see. Didn't even check the VIX. VIX is on an uptick, team. Joe Frank, yes. You get that testosterone boost, buddy. Let's go. $26-second delay. That's a big deal, Eric. Yeah, I'm happy you're tracking that, man, because that is a thing. Another novice gap here. A lot of gap ups. So just be cautious. We do have options expiration tomorrow as well. I think Swim's been having a lot of issues. Tesla, we took a massive trade yesterday on Tesla. Insane. I actually converted those shares. I got shares of this, but we are coming up into the 200 EMA here. 200 PM moving average here on the other side. Come on, take a swim. It's been really having issues, man. All right, whatever. Moving on. Trying to do work here. I did get some puts filled yesterday on the SPY. Talk about that right now. Fang's getting a little heavy. All right. Apple putting in a wide range bar. A lot of things are extended, so they're calming down a little bit here. VIX is on an uptick. I wish my Thinkorswim wasn't being weird. It's been having issues yesterday. No, VIX is up slightly. VIX up, market down. VIX down, market up. All right, so what I'm going to do here, off the open, this is QQQs here, NASDAQ. Could lean against this. Let me just check something real quick, man. Man, does anybody think of swim having issues? Come on. Even this account over here. Amazon coming from weekly high, relative weakness. Amazon bought put if you have an options account working right now. I think it's when. Yeah, man. Amazon. Amazon bearish. Oh, come on, man. Apple. All right, Amazon, we can work on that potentially. Apple. Not a mid-range on the weeklies, but Apple relative weakness as well. You got to read over here on my other computer. It's kind of already following through. Here. I could potentially put some limit orders here for some puts to get bearish. Amazon kind of pushing back here. You can lean against this bar. Just snagging some bot puts there. Tesla coming off the 200 period moving average on the daily. We took this rip up yesterday, nuts this week, because it's at the 200 period moving average on the daily time frame, and it didn't really crack trend. All right, you know, Tesla. Come on, man. This is pissing me off. Apple followed through. Yep. Remain calm. Tesla fall through lower. Trying to get into my account here. Fuck. All right, QQQs. I wanted to grab some puts, get some puts on Qs. I'm breaking down here. Wow, this is bad. Like my computer, like is Thinkorswim's not working. I mean, everything's slow. All right, Qs, wide range bar open VWAP tag so far. You can work on this. If we're wrong, very clear to find a wrongness here. All right, so if I get this back up and I can execute, I'm just going to grab Qs right now because that kind of captures the whole thing here. Instead of chasing Tesla, chasing Apple, Amazon pulled back nice. We got VIX on a little bit of an uptick. All right, now we are retesting essentially the overnight. Well, I'm sorry, the all-time high. Geez, the all-time high here, roughly speaking, around here. All right, so we can remain short. We can work off this wide range bar on the 2 here, but if this gets violated, we just get stopped up. All right, so I've got a little bit of a chance here. Finally, I think this might be working here. All right, looks like we're green, good to go here. All right, if you grab Tesla, I would say just TP on that new low. Apple, TP on that new low. Amazon filled at VWAP. If you watch that. We got SPYs. I'll keep SPYs flat for right now, at least for day trade. But on these Qs here, we're trading, 638. We just coming up here now, tagging this. All right, so again, I'm going to lean against this bar here right off open. And so I'll pick up, I'm having no problem picking up the 636 put. This is QQQs, bearish. All right, today's expiration, 636 put. Snag this. Anybody snag Amazon? Amazon, oh, beautiful tag. Amazon new low if you snagged it. I'll get to that chart in a moment. The lag is brutal today, team. All right. I'm trying to work as fast as I can. My brain is already on the next 3 clicks forward, and I'm waiting for the computer to catch up. All right. This is long put, which is bearish. QQQs. $6.36 strike. All right, and Amazon. We got this in my other account on Qs. $6.36 strike, just 0 GTE. All right, got that. We'll see if that gets violated. Amazon, oh man, it would have been nice. Maybe some of y'all caught this. This was rallying there. So if so, you got a new low here, TP. All right, good job. Apple. This kind of blows because I couldn't execute it there. Let's stay focused. If you got some Apple as well, nice little slide lower. All right, suggest a TP a bit there. All right, Tesla. Fall through lower here. And reason for Tesla, of course, rallied up into the 20 pin moving average on the weekly here. Weekly still low, 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 high. Daily 200 pin moving average. New level of supply. All right. Wide range bar off the open here, 2 minute. Fall through lower, TP. All right, NASDAQ, QQQs. We could take some profit here on this. Okay. Did manage to sneak in this here right now with the whole issue with Thinkorswim right now. So just staying focused. TP some Qs if you snag that. battling technical difficulties and delays, but still doing it. Good job, YT. QSTP lower low. Good job, brother. Another valued Phantom member that knows liquidity, baby. China. Bangkok. That's Thailand, Bangkok, right? Stupid American. Not everything in the East is China. You stupid American. I'll see you, Bob. Made your quota. Let's go. All right. Well, I wanted to do my thing here and check the VIX. It's capital Thailand, Charles. Bangkok. Straight to the balls. We're in 5th grade. Grow up. You have to watch out. We do have man, look at the gamma node today. Kind of creep. The gamma heat map, kind of creepy. 70 is positive gamma. Right now we're kind of floating in or around a spread here. This is a bot debit. Bot call, so call. Creepy gamma today. Broadcom doing its thing here. AVGO. Bullish. I also had AMD. AMD gapped up too much today, up into that. So there was no gap earlier. So it was coming from the basing. AVGO is going right now. I can't really see nothing stopping this thing until 400. Maybe take a quick bullish exposure here on AVGO. I don't want to chase too much, but tomorrow's expiration. Let me see if I can just get a little something here on this. It's already going. It's already popping, so it's kind of annoying. I'll get a 30 delta here, 405. This could pull back on us here. We got VIX on an uptick. This would be the time to add to puts on Qs here. Let me do that first. All right. Adding to NASDAQ bearish. Adding to NASDAQ bearish. Assuming Thinkorswim lets me here. All right. Buying more puts on this. I go for about $1. All right, I'm going to grab some AVGO bullish here. I'll grab the 405 strike. It's about a 30 delta. They're going for about $2.60. Bullish. I got my eyes on SPYs for that reclaim of VWAP. So this is a bullish trade, AVGO. I get it over here. Bit of a relative strength play. Apple new low if you took that. Nice fall through. All right, that's AVGO. Mr. Bangkok. We have classes. We explain in classes. Yes, sir. This is where we do it live and where I trade live to apply what you learn. So in the live trade room, it's already, you have to. This is where we go. This is war. This is wartime now, right? This is where we go. We have to apply. So if I explain every single thing that I'm doing right now, I'll miss everything, right? Amazon new low. This is my bullish exposure here, long call day trade. Yeah, because you're not trained up, Bangkok. You're not trained up. You got Phantoms members in this chat right now that have been with Phantoms for 2, 3, 4 years. All right. So we have classes where you learn it, and then I'm a doer, baby. So, and this is where we do it. This is where we do it. Where the Waba Miso World. Amazon, kind of annoyed I missed this. If you did manage to get this TP some here. You go fast, and I'm not even going. I can go faster. Check internals. I get it, but you don't know where I'm picking up trades. They're right here. Got some puts on Qs. Spot put. Here's a trade. 636 strike, 0-day expiration today. Bot put bearish. There's the premium price. AVGO. This could be an ad. This is AVGO 405 strike call for tomorrow's expiration date. And I even write the note here, right? Bot put on. This is our Qs, right? Bot put bearish 636 strike. It's all here. All right. Even added to this. All right. Now what can we do here? YT. So you gotta get trained up, Bangkok. I don't know how to speak Chinese, China. I don't know how to speak that, but I'd have to learn. You got to learn. Speak the language. All right. Might be a little careful with bullish exposure a bit there today. You could add into AVGO. That would be a good one. All right. Now, if you add it to the Qs, bot put, meaning bearish. All right. We're getting an equal to low right now. Not a lower low. All right, we got VIX on an uptick. All right, so just be careful with that AVGO bullish exposure. All right, so we can take some profit on Qs, okay? Bot put is bearish, Bangkok. So we're going to Bangkok this and take some profit on QQQs, which we shorted. Okay, so TP. Let's go from Europe. So you should be used to different languages. This is just another one to learn. Trader language. Come on, Bangkok. Keep up. TP some Qs. Bearish. That the AVGO is not following through. Amazon new low, TP that. That's the one I wanted. Apple equal to low. Qs breaking down a bit here. So we're going to take some poor profit it. Donovan O'Reilly, let's go. Another OG Phantom. All right. Working on these. I wish I had more. Well, I wish I had other. Let me just stay focused here, right? This is all. These are the TPs from shorts, right? Tesla. Oh, Lord Jesus. TP from shorts. Take some more profit. I think Swim owes me damn money today. I wasn't able to execute, man, on Amazon, Apple, and Tesla. Hopefully, y'all managed to get that. Potentially, just locked in cues added to this because I didn't want to chase. But I'm grateful for this here. Grateful. We might just have to cut some AVGO. Actually, hasn't violated the level yet, so take that back. Be patient on that a bit. I'll get to the chart, but let's TP some cues added to this very nicely here. So just make sure you took some profit here. Rams fall. Grab the 380 put for $3. T Wang May stake and wine money. Let's go. Where's the party at? Here we go. Nice Q pop here. TP some Qs. Bearish, NASDAQ bearish, whatever. If you took it. From 113, 125 put premium to sub 220, sub 230 here. 100% gain on these options here on puts. All right. And here we go. All right, lock some in. The first follow through below VWAP all week today, team. The team has been ripping longs all week, baby. Today's the first morning where we're catching the bearish trade, at least day trade wise, right? And nice. All right, Amazon, make sure you TP. Tesla new low. Thinkorswim, annoying. Oh, beautiful entry on Amazon if y'all caught that. Love y'all. Good job. Bangkok. What's going on here? Apple. Fall through here. It's retesting kind of this base range here. So naturally, we just kind of park there. Make sure you unload some size there, I'd suggest. Thanks, Thinkorswim, for not letting me execute that. Had a refresh. Anyways, Tesla, this is a good one. I'm actually long shares on this because it got converted. So this has been easy bought put off that 200 PA moving average. And I love me some Tesla, man. Literally one of my favorite stocks because it rips. But heck, man, yesterday had such an insane day on this. This is what it is. Missed this. But if you Thinkorswim's annoying, I don't want to chase, especially Tesla. You don't want to chase Tesla. It'll rip you. But beautiful tape here this morning. Wide range bar here off the open. All right, there's a first move there. Retest level there. Bang. Retest the VWAP. Boom. Boom. Bang. All right. So now I would have to wait for some kind of pullback here, at least to potentially work on this. But man, the tape is good there. All right, AVGO is one kind of annoying that it got in because I really want some bullish exposure here. This is some kind of bullish exposure here. You can see a lot of other Mag 7 stocks are kind of breaking down. AVGO is not, at least for now. Kind of first opening bar print there. It'll be annoying, a little annoying because of theta, this thing called theta decay in options. But we're still inside of this opening bar print. At least for now, we are below VWAP here. So just overarch this whole thing here in a gray kind of box here. Opening day's range, if you will. And I will give it a little time here, but, stop loss on this. If we snap this out. Okay. I much prefer to get the Amazon, Apple, and Teslas of the world bearish right there off the open until I could not execute. But all good here. We get the stop loss here. Get some cues. Stop loss there. If this thing still looking okay, right? The whole market just clipped lower, but AVGO didn't really much here. So just make sure we can be patient on this. And if we do happen to rally, I just want to get this here on recording for the team and you folks. Make sure you distribute and take some profit. In the event that we get here. All right. Those 690s are in profit, Derek. Yes, sir, my man. We did manage to sneak in some SPY puts yesterday. I mean, they're not very small, but they're in profit. Now, for the record, I took a QQQ put loss for $2.40. We snagged into these yesterday for $3. They got filled. These are profitable. They did go from $3 or $2.66 on the move today, gap down today. I'm sorry, gap up, and then this went up to $3.50. I don't know if y'all taking some profit on that, but if you're in the trade room yesterday, yes, these are albeit very small right now, working out. But if you want to, I'm going to hold these a bit here to see if I get something because we basically yesterday this got filled late day yesterday, so we basically got the high yesterday. For what it's worth, we'll see. All right, so we might be on the front end of that. We'll see. Oh, man, Amazon was just a nice, easy setup here today. New low if you caught that. Yep, Money Mike. I'm going to sneak in some more puts on Qs. We could actually roll this as well. So if I copy this, paste this code, the 365. We didn't close negative COG, so I probably should be waiting on that. Negative COG, but I'm going to also lock in. This is the 365 strike put. This could pull back on us. All right, we still could kind of test VWAP up here, so we could be waiting for this as we rally up. All right, so let me do that. If we rally up here. I did add here. So I added to the 636 bot put. Let me get that in the other account. QQQs. But we could pull back. I want to put a limit order up there. Up at VWAP roughly. to add. Let me just grab some over here. Add bearish. Yep, Jason Kenten, if I say that right. All right, so I just grabbed some here. This would be a little aggressive. This is aggressive, an aggressive add. But if we rally up into this area here, QQQ's sub what, 637, 638. This would be better ads. All right, so I'll actually just keep it simple for right now and stick with the 636. All right, and so let me give you the limit price here. And so that will roughly, you'd probably be able to get the same price that we kind of almost got. See, if we, this is what we about to put here, about to put added, about to put there. Nice entries, nice drop. So we rally up here. It's roughly will be about the same price that we got them for earlier, which I'm still actually in now. I just added up here. All right, so I'll make a note of that. All right, give or take here. And so if we get down to this area here, maybe put a limit order in, maybe $1.25, maybe $1.15, maybe even $1. Okay, this is the 636 strike put. Okay, as we rallying up in the VWAP, this will come down. This is put premium. Okay, so as the price action of the individual ticker goes up, okay, the put premium it'll go down because you want to buy puts cheaper. All right, so I can just throw in a limit order here, which I'll do right now. I'll split the difference here, $1.20. Okay. So this is a limit order to buy these QQQ puts if we get down into this premium price of $1.20 in terms of a price point for the contract. Okay, for the 636 strike. All right, for this market to kind of go, we would need VIX to kind of remain high. We're up about 3.8%. Nothing too crazy, but we're up. VIX up, market down. VIX down, market up. Inverse correlation. All right. So I have a limit order. AVGO trying to do its thing there. There's going to be limit orders up here. Pending, right? To buy future tens potentially, right? The 636, right? And these limits are at what, $1? What I put them at $1.20 in terms of the cost. All right, first 2-minute bar print is in. Good job, Derek. All right, red bar lean against. All right, potentially almost filled there. AVGO trying to do its thing here. It's still not profitable just yet. Depending on your fill. It's trying to do its thing there. All right, now I'll keep SPYs flat right now. S&Ps. Man, Amazon is nice. Man, what's up with technology here? Even my other computer is acting up, man. What is happening today? No. Damn it. Good job, Samantha. And I'm just gonna have to cut this stream. It's just too much bullshit on technology. Not y'all, man. I love y'all. But what the heck? What the heck? Any temptation for Tesla 400? Call. Good job, Bucket. 400. You could. It's like for a buck. That'd be like a YOLO kind of. Just for a buck. Tomorrow expiration. Worth a little bit of a shot there. Not bad. 400. Definitely doable. Give a pro gap up above the 200 right there. Probably extremely low risk. JP Morgan doing some decent things there. MU. I better get AVGO bullish exposure. Yeah, Tesla's one of the weaker ones there today. And you might even be able to optimize that. Who was that? Rams fall. You might be able to even wait potentially later to see if you can get a deeper pullback lower down here, and maybe even pick up like the 395 strike, if that makes sense. You know, you see what I'm saying? Of course, Tesla would have to come down a bit lower, but you might even be able to get something like if we happen to drop lower into these levels of demand here on the small time frames. You might be able to, instead of the 4, you might be able to get the 395 for like $1, which would be in a better situationship there, if that makes sense. Dell, nice. Little baby pro gap there. Good job. Fall through there. Alignment. Yeah, Ramsdale, for $1, man, right? It's like, all right, take a shot at that. Especially if you caught the trade yesterday in Tesla that, options went from like $2 to above 25, 26 bucks. Yeah, these Q puts almost got filled here. See if they do. Man, I don't know what's going on, but a lot of people seem that they're having issues with data. What's going on here, man? Man, what am I screwing this down? SPX hit that pre-market node. Those puts look like they're going to get filled at that price. All right, there goes that gamma node there at the 710, right? Somebody's mentioning that. Good job from Prep. And these filled. Let me grab them in the other account here. All right, these filled, right? We grab this. All right, so Q's tag that. SPX kind of coming back into its VWAP there as well. So punch lower there. All right, QQQ's filled. That was an aggressive one there. Got to be careful with that. But yeah, we'll see now. It's a good change here, but we'll see. Still doing its thing. But if we kind of pull back, so we have impulse, correction, impulse. Remember, this market's a raging bull right now, so got to be cautious with this trade. As always, healthy risk management. All right, so far, you should be getting an attempt, at least minimum here, right? An attempt, to kind of drop back down to make at least a minimum here to make it equal to or potentially new low. We don't know that yet. This would be where, if this happens, we'll see if we can take some profit here. If not, if we start to reclaim and get back up and get stopped up. All right, so we'll see. We're going to be patient on that. And if, I kept SPYs, at least for day trade for right now, especially given this weird stuff that's happening with all technology and thinkorswim at the moment, annoying. But in the event, right, that we kind of not just reclaim VWAP, but we need to get above this level here, team, right? See this big drop right there? Big drop relative. Look at this. This is a big rally up. This is a little microcosm here, but it is a nice drop nonetheless that we can lean against. Okay. So in order for this market, for the bulls to kind of take back over, we need to get above this, not just a spike above. Okay, but we need to have, like, at some point, maybe later, I don't know, who knows, or even pretty soon, if we to get closures, okay, on the small time frames, back above this. Okay. But for right now, we're holding below its VWAP at the moment. All right, that 70-30 is going to be an issue. Yep, massive spread there. So we're kind of bobbing in between two spreads there. All right, now if you grab those puts, depending on your average fill, if you still have on, because I got some here, but you can begin to start to take some profit on them. AVGO. All right, so AVGO being annoying, just still in range. So far, still early, but this failed to make a new high here so far. The mags are calming down. Mags are heavy. Blue looks like 7,000. Gimmin will lighten up. Great. I don't know. It's not giving it to us. Data issues. This is brutal. It can't work. Can't work like this. People sitting in the office right now getting yelled at by their bosses. Some of my boxes, shadow box. Mark Wahlberg. All right, like this is just annoying. All right. We're getting a little bit of a push here. All right, can TP some Qs. All right, team. All right, took some profit on Qs. AVGO still floating down there. I'm going to take some off here. My wife tell you about her struggles at work. That's funny. She's always trying to keep you out of the gym, Joe Frank, man. Your abs must be popping, man. All right, TP'd some. Trying to get my other computer up, team. Sorry about this. This is just bad. Fucking. Technical difficulties, man. Left and right, huh? All right. AVGO is probably just going to sit like this and just theta decay on you. VIX on highs. Oh my God. Now trading is having an issue on the other computer. I can't even deal with this right now. 7,000. Lock in. I just got to lock in some more puts. All right, I'm rolling this too. I'm going to get into the 635. Add to puts on Qs. All right. I'm also going to add to the 630. I'm going to roll some. Well, not well. I'm going to get in some of these 635 strike puts. Okay. Pixel highs, lower. Fangs heavy, Valdi lower. So this is the 635 strike put. Still could kind of mess around with VWAP up there too. So still want to be a little bit patient here, but this market's not going to like fucking crash, but we still have intense residual pressure over the past couple of days. I should even say weeks, right? So this is a bot put, rolled, add. I should just say add. All right, but it's a different strike. You got the 635. All right, so that's one strike price lower than the 636 that we're looking at. All right, but we still got this. We're just getting pinched between, looks like for now. And somebody was mentioning bucket. Good job. We actually has a positive gamma node at the 7,000. Actually switched to negative. So that means options are options from the market maker's perspective. They weren't bought, now they're sold, which is providing negative gamma below, at least in the 7,000 handle. All right, so there's a bit more of bot puts being bought from customer profile that's making it negative gamma for market makers. But 69.85 is a bit. So the outliers, of course, going to be these two. We're still pinched between these two here. But if we do kind of snap this 7,010, and if we do happen to get below 7,000, it's negative gamma. It's only adding, so there's more bot puts being added here. All right, AVGO, this pop here, you could use this bit of a pop if you want. If you're not comfortable with this trade anymore, you could use this as a reduce exposure. It's still loss. But for example, like in this account, I got the fill here at 238, and they're going for about $1.87 right now. So they're down. They were down here to about $1.17. If you didn't want to just get out of this thing here and cut this, you could do that right now if you don't feel comfortable. If you even wanted to just reduce some at least for a bit of a smaller loss, because this is not really following through as much, you can do that as well right now if you'd like. Or you can elect it to stay in and see if we could still pump. It's not really breaking any structure to violate you to get out up until we get back down here. Okay, so if you are okay with having a stop loss on this AVGO call premium, which is bullish, okay, the 405 strike, at least at a minimum right down here, this is what you want to put your stop loss here. And this would be the $1.15 in terms of premium. Okay, so if you bought it, say at like $2.30, or let's just say you bought it at $2.15, for example, okay, give or take, and then you get stopped out at $1.15, you'd be losing a dollar or $100 per contract. Okay, so this would be officially the stop loss as it'll break structure. Of course, you can see it hasn't hit yet, if it is going to hit. All right, but right now you have an opportunity, if you'd like, okay, to cut that loss in half or stay into it, okay, see if it works out, or you have to assume some loss here. Yep, there you go, Bucket. You got it. Yeah, a bit of a digestion. And these puts, folks, we have to be really, just cautious with these. Just keep VWAP on your chart, and if we really reclaim daily VWAP, close above that, that'll be your cue. All right. Now we did kind of retest this. This is NASDAQ futures, right? So remember we had this Globex low, and then we had this kind of daily was a daily high as we rallied up and broke that. Okay, we pulled back, and so far we did kind of break below the Globex low and hit this retest level for an aggressive G-trap retest. All right, so what's happening here, team? Really slowed down. This is good for Mr. Bangkok over there. But we still have this wide range bar off the open here. At least on the here, I got the 30-minute time frame. All right, VWAP's right here. Now, this is the 2-minute. This is where we knew it was okay. Where I knew okay, great. I'm not going to be able to take a shot here. So we bought some puts. Okay, TP new low, came back up, bought some more puts. Then we dropped down, TP new low. Right, good job. Now down here, what's crazy about this is we were short. We were taking some profit here. Okay, this also was that below the Globex low, the aggressive G trap, which right now hit and gave us the quote unquote. If you did take that, you got your mean reversion here. Now, if you notice, if you took this G trap, we were buying the cover from shorts. This could have been a buy to enter long, right? And if you did buy to enter long, you got your mean reversion here. You TP from some longs here. Okay. Now this is where we got the put ad here filled. Okay. And I say all this to say this. Then we had another trying to make a new equal to or new low. So far we didn't. So that's noteworthy here. Now we did manage to take some profit on some of these puts down here as well on the bearish trade. Okay. Now we are pulling back. So any bearish trade, okay, in the NASDAQ, for example, could be having a pushback or drawdown in terms of P&L at the moment. Okay, so this is the first time on the small time frames, okay, that we did fail to make a new lower low. Okay, so that's noteworthy. That's noteworthy. Now, so we have impulse correction, etc., etc. Again, this should yield the equal to or new lower low. We didn't get that yet, but we have yet to have a new higher high just yet as well. Okay, so this might not happen though, team. Okay, so we still have to be patient here. Okay, and furthermore, okay, what we have to do is this bigger drop here. This is going to be, or what is going to be, the level of control. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, it's a very small time frame. All right, but right now, it's a little bit different than what we have been experiencing all week. In that, I think I have it all queued up on the cues, where we've been trading above VWAP. All right, this is QQQs for this whole week here. This is starting all the way down here Monday. Let's see if I can maybe just get like a 5. It's fine. It's cool. All right, this is Monday. It's open here, right? We were below VWAP for about maybe 15 minutes of the opening days range on Monday. And this is the VWAP of Monday, but it's now yellow because I'm carrying that over into, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now it's Thursday. So this is the weekly VWAP for this week. We've been above that literally all week other than the first 15 minutes of the opening days range on Monday. Tuesday here, right? I was with y'all folks here. People are like, are you still getting long here, Mr. Blue? We're high up on the supply. I was like, yeah, we are, but we have to go long here, right? Positive COG. That's on even on YouTube. Great, whatever. Wednesday in the live trade room, what we do, team, boom, positive COG, got long, back above VWAP here. Even that yesterday, a little bit of a pullback there. Great, we needed a bigger pullback, got in a VWAP, positive COG, continue to go. Okay, now today, this morning, okay, we had move up, gap up, okay, wide range bar, and we were below, making lower highs below VWAP. All right, but that soon might be getting violated here. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so still a little early on it right now. Another 30 minutes. Still a little early on it right now. All right, but as you can see, if we start to take this supply level out right here, okay, If we take that supply level out right here, okay, this is going to be a violation, and that right, failure to make a new low, and you have to accept defeat in the event that this happens. Okay, and this makes a new high because we're still in a massive bull uptrend, etc. All right. Hopefully that makes some sense there. All right. Another thing we have to be just aware of as well. What's that 1 hour bar? We just got a 1 hour bar close now. Yeah, it's a bit of a red bar lean against. All right, so I can't really do much unless we kind of snap that level here, right? All right, don't forget the levels that we planned pre-market T-trap lower. And we get the VIX on highs. We'll see. So you can see S&P futures. Right now we're hovering below the Globex low. Last 30-minute bar, red bar lean against. That's what I'm talking about here. Now we already pulled back, right? This is the 1 hour bar open here. We already pulled back into a VWAP tag here. So we added on Qs. All right, so right now this is pending. This is pending either equal to or new low. Okay, so we'll see if we can get a little bit of a flush here in the new level here. We might not be able to get that. We'll see. Just gotta be patient with it. All right, but that'll be a TP campaign in the event we get down there. All right, and just watch out, right? This is S&P futures. So we start to reclaim VWAP, but again, I need a structure break. We need this supply that got put in right there to get wiped out. Right? Does that make sense? All right, still a tough bearish trade just because we get the residual pressure of just this massive run up. All right, so it might be a grind to get down there. All right, but just stay patient. Markets are calmed down a little bit from just the aggressive rip that we've had. Look at those candles on the daily. All right, we could just put in kind of a doji bar up here, give or take, just to kind of park at all-time highs, etc. All right, so I got to remain bearish until further notice. Okay. All right, I apologize on some of the execution. Well, Thinkorswim shut down on me, right? So y'all see it. It's all recorded, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you take some profit in the event that we get lower down there. AVGO is probably the trade that, I was kind of like forced into kind of like some kind of bullish exposure a little bit with this bull run. But off the open there, we had Amazon called out nicely there. Kind of annoying. All right, but put the area here, location. Of course, if you're not trained, you might have missed this. But I was like, okay, get some areas up here. Right, good to go. Negative COG, what have you. All right, good to go there. The team good on that. Tesla was another one there. Exactly, Ramsell. Exactly. Take a little bit of a break from just movement. Tesla was nice, man. I love the 200 period moving average, and we had a wide range bar there, like classic setup. But whatever. What am I going to do? Right when I was ready to go and execute, take a swim, literally just stopped working. Okay, great, perfect timing, right? All good. Keeping it positive. Yesterday was an insane day in a good way, which is great. I mean, pretty much that's it, right? Even they have issues over here with this data. Right now, we're just pinched between two kind of nodes here, spreads. All right, so once we kind of get below that, we're outside of the outliers, or we get above that, we're outside of the outliers, then we can get some play. Nothing really sticks out. 6,985 is a decent little positive game out there. If you are a member of Phantoms, in the chat, there's a chat group, and some team members will help with some of these things we do here in terms of services. That said, kind of a weird ass session, but just take it as it comes. If you're Mr. Bangkok and you're like, man, I have no idea what is going on here. Where do I learn? This is where to go. TradePhantoms.com. If you were to click on this register button there, that will take you to a landing page that looks like this. Today, the 16th of April, 2026, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't know what time that would be in Bangkok. But about 8 hours from now, if you were to type your name, your email, number there, click attend. I'm not calling you. You can call by Mr. Black and Mr. Green. I'll help you there. You'll get registered for about a 90-minute session, give or take, hosted by the Mr. Black or the Mr. Green. And here's the topic agenda. Y'all can read that. Trading for income if you're just starting out. We have kids that are just starting out at kind of high school, college. Okay, not to bring age into it, all the way to people that are in a period of their life where they're retired and managing their wealth. Okay, and I say all that to give you the range and spectrum of what this is like here. Okay, it's not just one style; it's multiple styles. Right? Come one, come all. How markets really work. Okay. Growing a small account, if that's where you're at, into managing larger accounts there, not just stocks, futures, forex, options, even crypto. Okay, everything. Day trading, swing trading, long-term management, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for everything trading and investing. If you come check it out, cool. You like it, great. You'll be able to see if you want to kind of join the team. If not, and you don't like it, cool as well. Right, shake your hand, part ways. We're not for everybody, and everybody's not for us. That's for sure. I would suggest serious inquiries only. We are a serious company, okay? Serious traders looking to do serious things, all right? So we have some fun, yeah. But if you're here to try to get rich quick and just fucking play around and be an annoyance, probably not the place, okay? Here to do some serious training to get people to another level in their trading, all right? God bless. Take care. Blue out. I'll see some of y'all later today in the classes if you're going to attend it. Tomorrow morning, being Friday, we're in the live trade room where we won't have no stupid delays on YouTube, and I'm hoping Thinkorswim kind of irons their bullshit out, and we have no platform issues as well. All right, trade safe. A little bit of a digestion range kind of morning, so keep your cards tight. If you are a Phantom member, you should have been crushing it this week, right? So hold your cards tight. Don't go crazy and just give back on some kind of weird choppy day. Just make sure that you have your eyes wide open and put everything into perspective. God bless. Take care. Blue out.